You're ready to.
All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. Time to get this daily dab started. Got some coffee, got the terps, got the rigs. We're slow to fill up this morning. Give everybody a minute to hop in here. Dabbing on the wedding crashers today. It is still coming up to temp. I just pulled this out of the freezer this morning, so it's got some condensation still on the jar. We're gonna give it a few more minutes to warm up before we crack that open. We don't want it to get any condensation, get wet. And let me go ahead and share this video. Good morning, Zach. Good morning. Cool. Got that posted. All right. Be hitting let's go with little guy first. I got a nice ring light now. So should be able to change the color temperature. Figure out what makes this look and work best. There we go. That's like a natural. Word. Gotta love the ring light. I love it. I can adjust the temperature of the light, how bright it is. Perfect. Fresh press. Look at that. Pull the whole fucking thing off. Clean off the glass. That's how you know it's that fresh. If you need crop steering strategies, I offer a crop steering class. It's a recorded class, but I do a live lesson like try to do it like once a month at least. This is so fresh. It's so hard to get what I want. I guess we're just gonna go with a fucking huge ass stab this morning. Monster. Just monster. Cheers. 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 Cheers.
This is my first time. I'm sorry. I thought you said I was beautiful.
You are beautiful. Everything's okay.
Ooh. Which one, Ryan? The bubble disc? The green and blue one? Pause, don't go. Grab some coffee. Keep your ass up. What do you guys drink over there, Oz? You guys drink coffee or tea? Or both? You guys just drink fucking kangaroo piss. Carbonated. The new Gentry, let me see. I'll ask him if he sent it out. I don't know if he sent it yet. Let me see. Mr. Gentry. All about coffee, fuck tea. Tea, milk, sugar for me. Oh yeah. I am hitting my wedding crashers still. I've got some Los Altos and I have more of a wash, but I don't know. This wedding crasher is just doing the motherfucking thing for me. The high I found from this wedding crashers is similar to the Mindo, in that it doesn't seem to have much of a cap on it. Like I can just continuously fucking dab it. Hey, stop being a crybaby. You wanna come inside? Let me go bring my boy inside. Hey, Romeo. I'm gonna bring the boys in. Come on. What's up, my boy? Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to your. No, that's also bed. That's not your bed, bro. Come on, we do this every day. Come on, get in your bed. Thank you. Also, you too. Hey, no, that's not your food. That's not your food. Get in your bed. Tell Romeo to go to his bed too. Romeo, what are you doing, bro? Come on, get in bed. Oh yeah. All right, let's get to this. I took some video for you guys, and I'm gonna upload it real quick, and then I'll show it to you guys. Okay, it's uploading them now. So we are on day 26, and differences in the room. So on the warmer side of the room, there was not as much branching. That much is 100% for sure now. The difference being, when you look at the warm side of the room, the canopy looks like a hockey player's mouth that has had a bunch of teeth knocked out. There's just a bunch of gaps. If you look at the cooler side of the room, there's no gaps. It's like a fucking veneer, porcelain veneer smile. Like there's just branchings everywhere. You think I took more leaves off one side than the other? No, I made sure it was super even. I stripped both sides equally, and made sure that everything was cleaned up the same, because that was one of my concerns as well, is that I was going to defoliate one side better than the other and give me, unequal results. But that wasn't the case. I did the warm side of the room first, and then I did the cool side of the room the next day, and the day after that. It took me 2 more days. And by the time I was finished, I went back through and I looked at both sides and I checked the warm side and the cool side. And I went back to the warm side and I removed a couple more fan leaves throughout the canopy to make sure that it looked just as open as the cool side. But the cool side of the room just had a way more branching. Um, both sides of the room had UV on the wall. There was no UV in the center aisle or on top. So the only sides of the canopies that were exposed to UV, those sides branched out even more, both on the red side and on the cool side, like way more, almost too much. So running the side lights with the UV 24, not 24 hours a day, but during the whole lights on period during the stretch caused too much branching. And I think that with this particular strain, UV would be better served either early on in veg to assist with node development and branching, to set a different type of foundation for this strain because it likes to grow tall and lanky, or introducing UV during the second week of the flip, which is when the stretch is already initiated and you're trying to develop that canopy zone. So during that time, the branching might be good. But if you turn on the UV too early, there's way too many branches that you just don't need that you can remove. So interesting to find out with this alien OG pheno. Um, the branches are thicker on the cooler side of the room. If I had to compare it, it would be like comparing what's a good one? Okay, Q-tip. Excuse me. The width of this Q-tip or the diameter, okay, is like the warm side of the room. They're not actually the skinny. Some of the secondary branches are, but anyway, just for an example. Okay, and then the cool side of the room, the branches are more like this. They're like double, if not triple, as thick. They're thick. Um, the buds themselves actually have developed slightly different. Um, the cooler side of the room, the buds seem to be chunking up faster. Um, yeah, they're chunking up faster, which right now, because they're not actually in a bulking phase yet, the red side of the warm side of the room, rather, looks like the buds are like mostly leafy, but that's just because they haven't really chunked up that much just yet. But anyways, let me see if this video is uploaded and I can just show you. Gentry said, "Good morning. Plan to ship everything out tomorrow. Making the tools right now. Check out your upload button in case just for your order." Oh, moly, hell yeah! Oh man, we was memeing. We be memeing. Where the fuck is my shit at? It's still uploading. Okay, I got the pictures, but the video is still processing. My kiddos. Uh, Here's the room. Got a little side by side picture there. It's hard to tell from this, but I mean, you can see like there's almost a full square here missing. Same here. There's not too much of that over on this side. There's certain areas where, some of the branches didn't stretch as much, but for the most part, this side is super filled in.
Yo, what is good, you guys? Day 26 in here.
Really? I can't get the full resolution?
Things are looking good.
I
It's
mean, look how fucking packed that is.
things are looking good.
That's just there's buds on buds on buds on buds on buds. And this is the side exposed to UV. And if you look further into the canopy, you don't see this same level of branching and stacking. So this is the effects of the UV on this side.
It's crowded in here.
That's a pretty solid wall of buds all the way through. You see there's multiple in each square. One, two, three, four, five, six branches in this one square. So there's quite a few. Let's see, one, two, three, four, five branches in this one, maybe. And you see right here at that, I super cropped some of these branches, bent them over, spanked them, said, "Who's your daddy?" I mean, I weaved them in the net, and now I can even go back in and I can lower these lights back down like 6 more inches. But you'll see all throughout the canopy, there's a bunch of this right here. Like there's another one right there. Who's your daddy? There's another one. Who's your daddy? There's another one, and another one, and another one. See, it's just not as filled in. I mean, it's pretty obvious now, right? This is where there was cross lighting between the two spectrums, so I think this part filled out a little bit better than over here. I mean, I super cropped some of these too, but it's just not as filled in. It's so obvious. Look at where the UV was, though. Where the UV was, those motherfuckers just packed. Way better than the other side of this tray right here, what we were just looking at. Night and day. I mean, look at the difference in how much these filled out. But it didn't go all the way through the canopy, mostly on that side. Look at me standing on the tray.
Yo, what is good, you guys?
So there's the room. That side lighting works amazing, right? UVA. You said, even with me testing, a lot of people shit don't look like that. You're right. Not to toot my own horn, but you're right. Um, yeah, I'm gonna actually adjust the spectrums right now. Yeah, I'm gonna incorporate it for sure along the top. I definitely want to put some UV in, but I gotta figure out exactly how much I want to add and everything else. Ooh. I'll have the side lighting available on the SPG store soon. So yeah, I mean that's kind of it really. The room is pumping along. It's like I said, day 26. So I went ahead and I dropped the temperature running 84, dropped it down to 82. Right now in the room, as soon as the app updates, I'll show you what we got. So I have my set temp at 81. The current temp in the room right now is 83. Set humidity is 63, and we're at 63.6. CO2's at 1600. Running the EC at 3.2 still at 5.9 pH. And we're going to check out our morning logs and see how we're looking on the irrigations. All right, all right, all right. That's what I like to see, baby. Oh, shit. Got a little dry in there, huh? Damn. So we need more irrigations at night. Those were still dropping. EC, so I need to make these bigger irrigation events here. I think I did that this morning for these. Let's see, what do we spike to? 11% there. $12, yeah. Okay, so those were dry. Those need to get irrigated further into the night because the lights turn off at 9 o'clock. This is 8 o'clock right here. And the lights come on again at 8, and we're irrigating at 8:30. We already dropped the EC down to 12. We're at 51. That's almost field capacity there. 14. We still need to knock this down some, and that needs to go up more. It's not at field capacity yet. This one's looking good, and it is almost at field capacity. So we're looking good across the board there. Yeah. So we're gonna have to increase the size of these irrigations, do less of them, and then do we have to move these irrigations over some, basically. Okay, okay, okay. All right, well, I know what needs to happen with the irrigations today. So I'll make sure that I adjust the irrigation events accordingly. I'll continue to monitor the graphs throughout the morning and make sure that um, we hit our proper dry back, or not our proper dry back, but our proper EC through appropriate runoff, and then I'll space out the afternoon irrigations accordingly for P2. If you guys want to learn about irrigations and stuff, I'm telling you that class that I teach is the way to go. It'll help you dial in your shit so well. Shenanigans here. Hold on. I got to appeal for my account real quick. It's ridiculous. Nah, definitely not flying into the sun anytime soon. If anything, I actually probably, like I said, gonna go in there and lower the lights down on those spuds and really blast that light deep into the canopy and make sure that we're getting uh, really good penetration all the way down. Penetration, baby. Now, I'm typically pretty good at managing the canopy. Um, if it ever gets away from me, I have a multitude of tricks that I've learned at taming a big canopy in a small space. As long as I'm not too lazy to go in there and implement them. The first thing is good preparation, honestly. Getting all three layers of net put in place on trellis poles right away. When you put the first layer of net up before you flip, my daughter's outside. She's so cute. Watch, I'll show you. She's so silly. I don't know what she's doing. Kids are the best. Hopefully, I don't accidentally turn off the camera right now when I do this. Derp in the house. I think I'm gonna take a dab and go outside with them and clean the pool. I was about to take another fucking dab out of here and I already loaded it up. All the growers here over water. Makes you sad. Yeah, that's a big problem. Overwatering sucks. What's up, EP? Whew, fire. My wife's watering the plants right now. I can't clean the pool because I got to clean the filters first. So, speaking of, there goes my fine ass wife right there. All right. What's today's little daily drop of information going to be? I feel like I already gave you guys a bunch with the UV and spectrum analysis information. But let's see. Oh, here's a good one. I just have to think about stuff I do in my own garden. Yesterday, I went through and I cleaned up my veg area. I mixed the new stock tanks for the flower room, 3 gallons worth, which should get me through the next several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of flower. Um, but really, what I did is I added in my bottom tray for the rack setup, and then I cleaned off the top tray. I did a little bit of defoliation on all of the mother plants. I took my Alien OG mother upstairs after I cleaned her up real good. I applied a real good foliar application of Power SI Control. Watered them all pretty good. And yeah, I took cuts off of everything. Took it 3 cuts off of G6 number 6, G6 number 3, and Frost Factory number 4. And I took 6 cuts off of Alien OG just because it was so big. Um, and I have all of the cuts down on the bottom tray with the Frost Factory number 4 mothers. Those all the mothers got put on root risers to help speed up the drybacks and therefore the irrigations and therefore the growth. I added a dehumidifier to the room, but I need to get it mounted on a shelf or on the second tray. And I need to install a condensate pump underneath the racked system to evacuate all the water from the room to outside. And then I'll have to set up the outside pump again. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is cleaning up your mothers, your veg space, and just kind of cleaning house in general. Um, if you're not on top of your game in your veg space at all times, it's going to show up in the flower room. And getting the environment on point and getting the irrigations dialed in is just one part of it. But maintaining the canopy and trimming back the mothers, getting rid of all that old foliage at the bottom of the plant that is not even going to make a good clone anymore just because it hasn't been getting good light. Things like that are going to make a huge difference in the mother stock and your ability to pull really healthy clones off of them. Even if you're not taking cuts, which you should be, right? ABCs always be cloning. One, it's good practice, and two, it helps you dial back your moms so that they stay, bushy. But you could always sell them, gift them, whatever, right? If you're not doing that, you should still be snipping the mother's back whenever you get those long branches that are really established and you could top it again, top it. You're not flowering it, so it doesn't matter if you divert its energy too much. You're not going to have colas that are sharing that energy. It's just branches, and it can do that all day long, no problem. So, snipping them back often and bushing out your mothers to keep them short and get as much clones as possible, or as many clones as possible, is going to be key. So when I went in there, I cleaned up the bottoms, and I topped all of them. If I didn't take cuts off of it, I at least snipped it. Got everything to somewhat equal height, spaced it all out so it gets equal lighting, and now everything can just grow that much better. Better airflow, better branching, healthier clones. And now I just doubled, tripled, maybe even quadrupled the amount of clones that I'll be able to take off of each one of these plants in about 2 to 3 weeks. So, a couple things that I wanted to do real quick before we get out of here is I'm going to share with you guys the spectrums that I have going on, and I'm going to adjust them. Okay. So let me share that screen with you. All right, cool. So you can see here we got zone 2. This is the cool side of the room. You can see the bars majority cool here. So this is the current spectrum that's being run in this room throughout majority of the day. And I want to go ahead and adjust this a little bit now, just a little bit. So we're going to go over here to recipe. I'm going to scroll on down to the appropriate step where this comes into play, which is right here. Our 80-20 rule comes into play. And I'm going to shift it, baby, just a bit, right? Now, if you run, I know what this looks like, so I'm just going to hit this. But look, if you hit the default flower, this is what the default Science LED flower spectrum is. Okay, 50-50. I don't run that. Not right now. I'm doing R&D, advanced R&D. So I was running 80-20 right here. Okay, we're going to be switching that up now. We're going to be going, I'm thinking 70, if not 60-40 is what I was originally thinking. Because I feel like that's a good shift, right? Okay. And I think we were at 90, 95, 100. Cool. And then, so we're going to 60. And then at night, I'm going to make sure that this goes further over 50-50. Five. Why that's so low. And then it goes to full reds. We're going to activate that recipe. Just double check. 60, 40, 100, 90, 10, 95, 90. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the warm side of the room. We're going to replicate those changes. So at 8:30, this is what we are running. And we're going to go up to 40. Apply. And then 90. 95, 90. All right. Gucci Gucci. 60% cool. 60% warm. All right. So that's for the Kush. And this, I think, is up top. I think that's up top in the veg rack. And this one is, doesn't matter, it's the same. Cool. So there's that. Yep. Well, I can schedule my entire grow's lighting recipes from start to finish. Each entire week can have its own recipe, and I can schedule an entire grow on here. And I won't even have to go in and make adjustments on a weekly basis like I just did right now. That was a manual adjustment that I'm making. I could schedule that out ahead of time if I wanted to. I don't use Heavy 16, I can't tell you. You should ask Power SI. Power SI will be able to tell you. I mean, people say that you have to adjust for cultivar and region, but reality is you don't have to adjust for region if you're growing like in a true sealed indoor environment. The part that you have to adjust for your region is just your equipment to maintain the room the way that it's supposed to. But other than that, the parameters inside the room are still going to be the same. But definitely genetics. I think Dirty's point was saying like if I were to hand him off my genetics, you know, I could literally give him a list of, here's what I run for this genetic. Here's my room stats that I run for this genetic. Here's my light spectrum and recipes and full schedule that I run for it. Here's the nutrition I discovered it likes the best, right? Things like that. I think that's more what Dirty was saying. I'm not necessarily copy and paste, but if somebody has taken time to dial in a specific cut and they've ran it numerous times and gotten it down to where they have those notes, then fuck yeah, you better use them because you'd be stupid not to. Why start from zero when somebody's given you the playbook to start at 99 and then you just have to figure out the 1%? You know, if you're an experienced grower who already knows the details behind figuring out a strain and whatnot, then the process of doing it is irrelevant to you. You don't need that learning practice. You can just skip that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would appreciate it if one of my homies gifted me a cut and told me right off the bat, hey, I've tried this, and this. This is what it likes. This is what it doesn't like. That helps me tremendously rather than me just figuring it out and making it up as I go and having to do several trial and error runs before I get it dialed in. I can just start with a baseline that they provide me. And then if I see that it needs adjustments or there's room for improvement, then there's always room for improvement, you know? But hell yeah. 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100, homie, all day. Dialing it in is using full spectrum and then making adjustments. Okay, let me ask you this. What do you consider full spectrum? What Kelvin rating? What ratio of what diodes to what diodes? How much UV? How much red? What is the perfect full spectrum for you? You can't answer that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're never going to copy that outdoors to indoors, and especially with PPFB, which plays a huge role. So the best that you can do is just say, here's what I did, here's what I found, take it or leave. You know, for me, dialing something in um, is typically if I'm working with a new strain, I turn all my channels up, and I agree with you that you run it at full spectrum, whatever your full capabilities are. You need to establish baselines with everything, right? However, with that said, you know you can't disregard everything that you previously learned about spectrums and how they come into play with morphology. So, they all use LM301B and NEMO drivers. All the cheap LEDs do. Watch, somebody's gonna get triggered by that comment. But anyways, this didn't want to have a lighting debate. I think Dirty made a great point. That's all. There you go. No, I'm not above reproach. You can definitely debate me. I don't know everything at all. I'm just saying, I feel like dialing it in doesn't necessarily require you to start at square one. Okay. You can take somebody else's notes, learn what not to do, and that is half the battle. And in my opinion, that will always be better than starting back at zero. That's all. That's all. So Crypto Man asked a quick good question. Why spray the plants to feed them? Because uptake. Plants have to move nutrients throughout the plant, from the rhizosphere up through the stalks and branches and to the leaves, right? And um, certain nutrients are mobile within the rhizosphere, and some are not, and some are kind of mobile. And then you also have mobility within the plant itself. And within the plant itself, some nutrients are mobile, some are not, and some are kind of. So, with that said, when you are experiencing certain lockouts or deficiencies, or you just want to boost the overall health of the plant, you can apply certain foliar applications, which is going to give the plant direct uptake from the stomata underneath the leaves of the plants, right? And they'll uptake those nutrients directly. However, because a lot of the nutrients that you're going to apply via foliar application are not going to be mobile nutrients. They're only going to affect the areas which they're applied to and the immediate areas surrounding it. So it's a great way to rapidly fix issues while you're troubleshooting the issue in the rhizosphere, which can take longer depending on what medium you're in. So um, one of the great things, Dirty mentioned a bunch of information up top, but there's a lot of different things you can foliar. A lot of them are chloride based, which are going to be your better ones. Calcium chloride, magnesium chloride. Um, those two are great to foliar. They uptake extremely well into the plant. Um, and if you're in veg, there's all the different nitrates that you can use, right? Dirty mentioned them up above. There's also a lot of scientific evidence that backs applying specific beneficial bacteria to the surface of the leaves to create a symbiosis that will protect the leaves from other pathogens, diseases, pests. Um, so there's a lot of great uses for foliars besides just IPM, but as well as uptake. Kelp, oh man, great one, right? People don't understand the relationship between rhizosphere moisture and substrate. That's how you learn crop steer, not fancy. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, James. Um, so the way that I determine my shot sizes is based on the total volume of the medium, how much the total volume of water it can hold, right? So basically, you got to figure out how much is the total volume water holding or the total water holding capacity of your medium. Um, Once you know that, you can determine your shot sizes. So for me, I know 6 by 6 by 6 rock wool cubes hold about 3,400 mLs approximately. So 3% shot size is about 100 mLs, 6%, 200 roughly, right? Um, so that's how I calculate them. And then I also look at the field capacity of the substrate as well, which gets lower over time. Um, so that's why, it's important to make sure that you're monitoring with sensors, in my opinion, or at least some type of logging system, right? Um, Although I think it's more important to understand the fundamentals of crop steering, right? Like James was saying, but there's a lot of things that come into play besides just feed your plant this amount of water this every so often. Like that's what people think, um, crop steering is, but really it's so much more. It's understanding the pressure and the rhizosphere, the uptake that's happening, um, the drybacks, how that's affecting the EC stacking. If your EC is coming back down every day with irrigations, if they're transpiring, if they're locking out, you can get all of these signs early on in the medium before your plant expresses them visually to you. So if you're monitoring graphs, you're going to be able to see a spike in the EC and the medium at an inappropriate time or in an excess of what you would normally expect. And that's going to be a clear indication that you have a problem that you need to alleviate. And if you don't, I promise you within, well, at least in rockwool, within 24 hours or so, you're probably going to start seeing that issue on the plant. Maybe a little bit longer in cocoa and definitely longer in soil, right? In soil, if you see an issue on the plant, they say that the issue's been present in the soil for at least 4 to 5 weeks, depending on what the deficiency is. So, um, it's understanding the demand being placed on the plant by the environment, so many things, right? But that's what I teach in the crop steering class. I don't teach recipes. Here's what you need to go do. Like, no, I teach a broad, general, foundational understanding. What's up, Mystic? Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for joining me on the Daily Dab. And I have the Gentry pieces here. Hit me up, Wendy. I got you. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Peace.